I think that's sort of the fun of it, was we want to, we're not trying to do a traditional dinner. We're trying to do like our version of it.
Nice. Kevin Long from Mason's, formerly of Tosca's, the celebrity chef.
Tosca's, just like said properly.
Yeah. Is it? Did I say it right?
That's what everybody calls it, but it's Tosca.
Tosca, sorry.
Yeah. Don't be sorry.
And also of the I'll Cry If I Want to podcast that you recently had me on. And, I was saying to you earlier, I think it's awesome. It's a fantastic listen. I highly recommend it.
Dave's marveling at my podcast fame.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have the same video setup as me, but it was a cool spot. And,
that's on purpose.
And I think you guys are on location. I think that's the move you need to make.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Dave is on 2 episodes. It's that was so funny. I invited you to the second one we were doing on location. They were like, you got this guy Dave coming again too? I was like, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How did that go over? A bunch of chefs and someone an idiot that doesn't know what he's doing.
No, I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun to, because this is the big thing that, I don't know what, this is your show, but this is the big thing that I thought was cool, was connected with you, because you're so into it.
Yeah.
You're so into this. It just sort of aligns. I like it. You know?
The podcasts are fun. I mean, I think it's a great medium to get information out there. I mean, you know, right? And I don't know, it's a lot of fun to record and have conversations with people that you admire, look up to or admire, and like get to talk to them and share it.
That's why I thought it was fun. You're just like really down and into it. So, but what do you think of people that say, "Oh man, everybody has a podcast now"?
I don't care. Not everybody has a podcast about the South Shore's artists. I think there's a couple other people that have things that are similar in different areas, but for me, it's like these people that I'm having on, a lot of them have been on other podcasts. I've had a few celebrities like yourself and maybe Aldous Collins, but a lot of them I think are unknown to a lot of the community, and I think it's cool to try to introduce them to people that are interested or a Frame Center audience. No,
I love what you're doing. So that's the other question too. Is like Beth that we just met, right?
Yep.
Was it Beth Bailey?
Beth Bailey. Yep.
She was great. Like, and I was going to ask her, and we were chatting away down there as we were coming in. Like, how do you quantify like if you're succeeding in what you're trying to do? Like that was the thing. Like, I started the I'll Cry If I Want to podcast with Aly.
Yep.
And we literally had no expectations and no idea what we were doing. We just were like, hey, we'll just do this. We'll talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And we were so super happy about how it sort of kicked off. And then we got a lot of listens, and then, we got more listens than the other podcasts that they produce.
Yep.
And we were like, oh, that's good, right? That's a metric. I guess we weren't competing, but, I don't know, we had more. And then we were like, okay, well, what are we doing with this?
Yep.
Like, are we trying to go viral or something? Or, I don't know. Like, but, what in your mind, like, I know you answered a no, man, and you're doing what you want to do, but, like, when you talk to people, like, what are they...
I think it's all, honestly, I think it's just as long as I'm having fun, that's all that I care about, and I'm enjoying the conversations. Like, aside from that, I think that other people, if you're doing something that's good, people want to be a part of it. I think it gives exposure to people, but for a lot of the people that I record with are artists. You're an artist in a sense, just because, like, the stuff that you're putting out is like gorgeous, but it gives me an opportunity to talk more with people that I like. I don't know, so it doesn't matter to me if other people listen to them. Great. If people think I'm getting better at recording or exposing them to like interesting people, great. But it ultimately I'm selfish. I just want to have the conversations and enjoy myself, you know.
I mean, I don't think it's selfish at all. I think it's,
And you know, I think there's like a lot of, I mean, kind of like you had that episode that we talked about this. It was like that dessert one, Mason's Desserts.
yeah.
And
The most innovative episode ever.
I mean, I think it's great. Like, I mean, honestly, like if you like, came away to listening from that podcast and like, I want to try every dessert that he talked about. Like, it sounded amazing.
Do you know that? You probably don't know this, but you know, when I was younger, I looked at cooking as literally the only artistic thing that I could do.
Well, I mean, when I watched the Instagram stuff, like, you know, we pulled these off of just your Instagram for the new restaurant, Mason's, and it looks like art. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, this goes back a lot of years now. Is it's like I've always had this. I don't know why that was like super important to me, but you know, I think that I love the people that, you know, I was looking over here. I love the people that can take beautiful photos, or I love the guy. Even what I grew up with my dad and my uncle and my other uncles on the other side of the family. I've got guys that do like metal work, and I like learned a little bit about that when I was like teenager. Like you know, everything from like they do all sorts of different metal crafts still to this day with big elaborate CNC machines and so on and so forth. But we used to bend sheet metal and stuff and make ductwork and stuff. It was fascinating to me. I don't know, it's still fascinating to me. Like, and then my dad and my uncle on my mother's side used to do woodwork, and you know, they were carpenters and builders and contractors and stuff. And I still find that stuff fascinating. And I probably could have gone that route and done that and learned more. Like, I probably could have learned a lot more from my dad, but I didn't really have like the end vision for it. I had a hard time like thinking about like how you put the steps in. So it's like there's like, I could probably start it and I could probably do some of the stuff in the middle and maybe finish parts of it, but it was all those links in between I couldn't do. So I had this like need to do something creative. I don't know why. I also had a pretty big need to make money and survive and live and pay for my family and stuff. And I really considered cooking to be that sort of creative thing.
I mean, it definitely is. I mean, you're mixing ingredients. I mean, I think it's definitely an art. I mean, you're basically, and when those things come out, I've seen you in a number of those, the Instagram reels, and when you guys have like a line of people and you're like, somebody's like splash, like, I don't know. I mean, it looks.
Yeah, and there's.
I mean, and look at that book. I picked up what's his name, Robbie's book.
Oh yeah,
when we were
so funny,
afterwards when we were in that. I mean, you know, what do you call it? Food porn. I mean, I mean, it's legitimate.
Well,
art.
Rob on my podcast is a superstar elite, and he is unbelievable with you know, just the flavor and everything, and he is really, really great at speccing ingredients too. Like, so he buys these really wonderful high quality ingredients. Everything that he bakes with, he imports this like French butter, French flour, so on and so forth, which really, really shines at Nivu, where we went on the tail end of one of our trips, where we were out hanging out. But he also just kind of like, you know, the aesthetic is very forward with him. And you know, I was saying at the end of I don't know what I was talking about, but I mean, he's just really, you know, he's younger than me and has just really done it right with the combination of those things. But yeah, that has really been. I
mean, you're on like, but when you're creating this art, you know, there's like these it's multiple layers, right? Like, you want it to look nice when it goes on a plate, when it shows up at somebody's table.
There's a lot of conception,
and then, but you got to make sure it tastes good too, right?
Yeah, that's what some of the stuff that we've had this great with Mason's. You know, we've had this great social media sort of you know, run right now where we have a good presence, and that's one of the things that I've been trying to think about, is trying to put out there some of the thought behind some of the stuff. And, you know, because I am really, I'm an Instagram guy.
Yep.
I know everybody does, you know, their own thing with social media. and I really find Instagram like great, and I find it massively inspirational.
Yep.
Just people unearth this recipe that's maybe a variation that's lesser known or something unknown, and I just really kind of fall down the rabbit hole with it and find it, cathartic. And one of the things that I've been really enjoying is just certain videos that, kind of tell the story behind things. Because that's, as a chef, I'm balancing what I know how to do and produce well with part of the story behind it too. Mm-hmm. And the story is always one of the things that's like harder to convey. Mm-hmm. Because you get into basically your servers, you need to convey that information to, because they're your point of contact with the guest. So
you don't go over and talk to everyone?
No, I don't go over and talk to everyone.
That's why I feel special when I show up, when you give me the wave.
I know you had a great table the other night, and I was like squeaking in, and I felt like I needed to talk to the people to either side. So, like, who's this dude? But that's one of the things that that I've been trying to do on some of this, social media platforms, where you can actually kind of tell the story of kind of how you came up with it, So like one of our things, you're gonna have to come on our night. We're doing a Day of the Dead.
Yeah, I saw the stuff looks
thing,
amazing.
which is just like, I think is going to be really great, and I'm super excited about. When do these come out? This
will be out next week.
Oh, good. So it will be in time. So
we could even have this out by the end of the week. We'll see. We'll
no. So but we got a month. So we came up with this thing where the Latin culture is like a lot of time, a lot of Mexican culture, but I think it's very big in like Guatemala. But it's a lot of Latin cultures. They celebrate the Day of the Dead, and I'm not an expert on this.
Yeah.
So there's a fair amount of self-education involved. But in the United States, we celebrate Halloween.
Yep.
In these Latin cultures and stuff, and it's really all over the world. It's a little more spiritual and almost religious based, where they celebrate their ancestors and pay homage to the people that have passed, and it's called the Day of the Dead, Dia del Muerto. My Spanish is not very good, but
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning it.
So there's a lot of imagery attached. There's a lot of food that's related to it. It's all very celebratory. So what we did was we took they celebrated on like this year is like November 1st and 2nd. It's a 2-day thing, which is great.
Yep.
So we put together this dinner to try to have fun with it, and do some of the traditional dishes, and we're gonna kind of decorate for it. Like I said, there's a lot of imagery, a lot of skulls, a lot of kind of death stuff. You ever see like I actually have one that's beautiful that I bought in Mexico, and it's like a little dancing skeleton. It's this little teeny print.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And then there's a lot of the skull imagery and stuff, which is really awesome. Which is funny because we did the scorpion bars with B&EG. We decorated with a ton of skulls and stuff. So a lot of it sort of feeds back to it. And then to take this stuff and then take some of my guys, like I've been working with Chef Jefferson, aptly named Jefferson, that he's El Salvadorian, and he this is big in his country. It's actually really big in Puerto Rico, which is just sort of interesting to me. And then Sergio is the guy that runs the grill. He's one of our backbone of our kitchen there. And, he's a Mexican dude, and it's huge in Mexico and stuff. So to kind of take these guys, and then they sort of like flood in a bunch of inspiration and ideas.
Yep.
And then really one of the roles that I play at the restaurant is I sort of keep it on brand with what we're doing at Mason's. So I sort of actually kind of more Americanized it to fit it into our theme. So we're doing... I feel like I'm advertising this, and it wasn't my intent, but it's cool.
It's a cool concept, but it ties into everything. I think it's
so. One of the things we're going to do is when I say Americanize things, I sort of bastardize things too. But I think that's sort of the fun of it. Was we want to, we're not trying to do a traditional dinner. we're trying to do like our version of it. So we're doing steak tips is one of the things, right? So I'm leading off with the cheesiest one, but we have all this beautiful prime meat. We trim it out, and then with the steak tips, which I think I call on the menu as like steak tips, like hermanos, which means brothers. Yeah. So me and the guys make steak tips to eat. So, it's fun when we're butchering steak and we have a little bit left over and we marinate it up and make some tacos with it. So that's one of the things we're going to do, and we're kind of replicating it. Now it's all of a sudden turned into this like big production of like, how we're going to do it, how we're going to perfect the marinade, da-da-da. And then we're doing like a copal salad, right? So it's a cactus salad, which they're just like actually very traditional, but you don't see it that often.
Where do you get ingredients for something like that?
I don't know where we get the. I don't know where we haven't really sourced the cactus pads yet. Yeah. But the idea is we get fresh ones. Yeah. That's the best. Because if you get like frozen or whatever, they're weird and the color's really off.
Yeah, but if you want something to like mix into a menu like that, you can find it.
You could find anything. Yeah. Nowadays, especially with some of the big companies that are out there now, like there's been a lot of post-pandemic sort of mergers and buyouts, and they have just like some companies have like gobbled up a lot of the smaller companies, and it's like you could fucking order anything. Yeah. Can I say the F word? I forgot about it. So you can order anything now, like but that's the other end of this business. Is you can order anything, but can you afford it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's so. On top of making it look good, making it taste good, you have to also be like conscious of like, what's this whole thing going to cost in the end?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody turned the afterburner on.
Yeah. You pausing it?
We can splice it in.
Okay.
You can keep talking though.
I must be getting warm up here, but.
Well, there's you're not only are you talking about sourcing it, you got to think about the price, you got to think about the shelf life. Yeah. That's one of the things, like, the stuff you're buying is perishables.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you got to think about the production, right? That's one of the biggest things that I struggle with is.
Is there a lot of waste? I mean, people screw up like
waste is another thing, and then the production of it. It's like you get these great ingredients in, but they've got to be turned out onto the plate. Yeah, whether they're seared first, braised first, butchered, any combination of a million different forming of things and processing of things, and and then what do you do with the waste and the people. It's one thing that people don't think about, right, is like, okay, maybe you have this like beautiful like piece of halibut or something, right? So your halibut's god awful expensive, right? Sometimes hitting $30 a pound now, which is just amazing to think about. So you think even if you take a $25 or whatever, let's go simple math. Yeah, $20 a pound piece of halibut, right? Yep. You cut it. You lose a little bit, right? Because halibut's shipped with the skin on, right? So sometimes you cook it with the skin on, but I don't really like the skin on halibut. So you take that, right? So you're losing, say, 10, 12% after you butcher it with little pieces that, come off and this and that. And you want your prime cuts. And then you get 6 ounces and this and that. So say your halibut is going to come out to $10 a portion, right? Yep. You're when you're done, right, with a 6 ounce or 7 ounce piece. And then you want to put your beautiful like chanterelle mushrooms on top, right, which are in season right now, and they're picked all over the place, and locally and in more of a summer thing. But they're shipped from Bulgaria, they're shipped from France, and all this stuff, right? So I just saw a price come across a text today, and they're $20 a pound. But you think, oh, there's only a little bit on there. Well, after you trim them, right, at $20 a pound. And you lose a certain percentage of that, and say you ended up with 4 ounces on the plate or something. Where after they're cooked down, they shrink and this and that. You're cooking them and all this stuff. So your piece of halibut that's $10 or $12 a portion, then you're putting on the mushrooms, right? Which you're like, we're not using a lot, right? But you pay $200 for the box of mushrooms. Yeah. How many orders are you getting out of it, right? So you get It all adds up fast, which I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
deal with it, and you deal with it in your
Yeah,
own.
no, I deal with it in different parts, but
in
but
your
it's
own
the
way.
same idea, And then this, one thing, the price spikes, and you try to.
I know. So do you? So a lot of the stuff that you buy here is you going to be tariffed on?
I mean, everybody that I buy from is raising prices now because of tariffs. Even some of the stuff that I feel like isn't really touched by it, the vendors, raise the prices anyway because.
It's funny. It's just like the tariffs are there to serve the purpose of a tariff, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to think like tariff. What is this, like 1780?
Yeah.
But it's actually affecting the stuff that shouldn't be tariffed. Like it seems like even U.S. made stuff.
Yeah, it's because everybody else is raising their prices, so it's like, oh, why don't we raise ours too? I don't know. I don't get it.
It's a bad ripple effect. Yeah.
Oh.
Tariffs.
I'm sure it's something in there, but whatever. I don't know. I lost track a little bit about where we were going before the tariffs took over, but you have to figure out all the pricing, and I mean you got your hands full.
Oh yeah.
I think about the food like the restaurant stuff, 'cause then you're trying to like convey all these things like that story to your servers. You were saying. Like,
oh yeah.
That's why I mean, is that possible or is it
totally impossible? But you try.
Yeah. Like a good server though, like
a good server has to learn and retain so much information to be able to, knowledgeably speak to the guest about it.
Yeah.
And you got to think of, you got to think of the tragedy that it is being a server. You have these people that they're literally waiting on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, all they want, the trips back and forth to the table. I mean, I've never really waited tables, but I've served plenty of people at tables, and I haven't really done it in the conventional, thing. But you think like those trips back and forth to the table. You just get the water, and then they ask for lemon and lime separately, and this and that, and then it's just like back and back and back and forth. There's the repetitive nature of it. And then a great server is going to get inside of the chef's heads and be able to convey all that information to the guests. And then they have to know all these little specifics. People are obsessed with what size is it, right? So it's like you're talking about steaks and this and that. And it's like, so it's not, you're not, people aren't just worried about going out like and eating a steak and, hopefully it's great. They got to know what size it is. Yeah. Right? Like that's super. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
is it going to be enough?
Yeah. It's, is it 12 ounces, 14 ounces? And then it's like, and then people are very, people are very price conscious. And then the allergies. Oh my God. Yeah. The amount of people with the allergy stuff is just like, you just should thank God that people aren't allergic to certain framing materials or certain types of glass. Yeah. Because it never ends. It's literally like, and they, and these guys have to answer every question. Yeah. And they have to double check every question. So you can put all the information out there. Yeah. But the allergy stuff now is just like, it's like life or death. Yeah. Which is problematic to me too, because it's like, yeah, you got to be able to give the people the information. Mm-hmm. But, and then people are just, are they just saying they have an allergy, or do they have a dislike? Yeah. Are they going to die if they eat cilantro, or do they just not like it? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then everything, all of the details that I want to put into the server's heads to be able to convey to the guest. Yep. The first thing you got to break the barrier on is allergy protocol. Yep. So it's just like, it's completely takes, it just takes like 2 layers right off there that are concerned with, is it gluten-free? Is it dairy-free? Yep. What does it have in it? And this and that. And it's like, frustrating from the production standpoint. You get somebody that comes in, they're allergic to onions. It's like, put onions in everything. Yeah. It's like 100%. Yeah.
So what do you do?
I don't know. You get,
tell them to go somewhere else.
No, you get very frustrated. Yeah. And then but
then it's also not coming out the way you want, right?
Well, yeah, I mean that's just the style. Like even cooking Italian food for years. You have people that can't have olive oil. It's like, okay, first of all, never heard of that, and then second, there's olive oil in everything. You know what I mean? Like, at sometimes we were even cooking the, the basic things in our regular oil, but the regular oil had a blend of olive oil in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, or Asian restaurants that we ran, and people come in, they're allergic to soy.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, there's not soy sauce and everything, but we're cooking in soybean oil. Soybean oil is great to cook in. It's very light. It's very, very thin, very light, light viscosity. Once you get used to it, it's actually excellent. And it's like, okay, you're here. You can't have soy. You can't have anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
here's a glass of water.
Yeah, but just be careful,
Yeah, no, that's, it almost feels like you gotta like just throw a couple throwaway items onto the menu so you can just be like, here's your choice, right? I mean, I went through that when I was on like when I was vegan for a while, and now it only can be a pain in the ass. So it's
you'd have to go into some place and like. So would you talk about it, or would you? Well, that's the thing too. A lot of people like pre-plan when they go out. Can you imagine going to a restaurant and then you have to figure out before you go there what it is and how much it costs?
Yeah,
that's a big young person thing right now. So they figure out like how many drinks they can order and how much they're gonna be. And,
really?
Yeah, it's just madness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
Yeah, people come in with the set amount that they're going to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's what are they, millennials or something now? I don't know. Like, I'm used to having Aly here with me. She knows all that bullshit. Oh, that's funny. So when you have people on, right?
Yeah.
Do you talk about what you're going to talk about before you have them on?
No, not really. Sometimes, I mean, if somebody's got a show coming up or something, I do. But I knew if you came in here, you can.
No, I was just curious.
Sometimes I do. I mean, if usually I'm like, hey, do you want to make sure we stay away from anything, or if they have a show that they want to promote or something like that, I kind of try to make sure we plug it. But no, I mean, I feel like I can talk with anyone, especially if I'm legitimately curious about what they do. I mean, I could ask you could be on for a week and I could ask you about restaurants or podcasts or like what makes things interesting to you. Like, so I don't need to like really plan it. And then I feel like if I plan it too, it just kind of comes off like a.
Do you get people that get like super nervous?
Yeah, I've had a few people that don't want to. Yeah. But all of them always say afterwards that I was easy to talk to, and it wasn't as bad as they thought.
Yeah.
Do you have that same?
Yeah. I get people that like get so balled up about it, and they're like in a panic.
Yeah. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
But we like Aly and I have really got into the.
We've talking about Aly. We'll pop this down.
Aly and I have really got into just throwing people right in.
Yeah.
Where you just like walk in and go like.
Yeah, it's like jumping into a cold plunge, right?
Deep end.
You sit around and you think about it too much, it's going to be worse. If you just jump right in, you get over it really quickly.
That's so funny.
Speaking of you and Aly, so you guys started the podcast. You said season 4.
Yeah, season 4. Yeah.
Season 4. I'm excited for the episodes I make an appearance on.
Season
Hopefully
4,
Aly doesn't cut it all out.
We got renewed by the parent company for season 4, like we're a sitcom. We arbitrary season 4, but I guess we had a pretty big hiatus. So we were happy to be back, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, we've had some good. What's interesting is like right now we definitely seem to be in a little different place because in past when we started out it was really hard to figure out like who we were going to have on.
Yep.
And now like I have a laundry list. Like I have a huge list of people that are like, yeah, I'll do it, or I want to come on and this and that.
Yeah, you just gotta like, get. You need a booking agent, right? And you
Yeah,
just line
no,
them
no,
up.
I mean, we're not really at that point, but
No,
that's
it's just a
been-
matter of like logistics and finding like the days that work for you, and then like I try to. Usually, I record every Wednesday morning. And I'm just trying to do it at same time, and that way I get Scotty here, and then I just like look at a calendar. It's like you start thinking about it. It's like, oh, you only have 4 Wednesdays a month, so it's like,
yeah. And what do you've done like 50 something episodes?
yeah, this is 57.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun. I thought, like, at the beginning, I'm like, how am I going to find all these people? And then I make lists, and I'm like, I want to talk to this person. I'd love to talk to this person. And then things come up, like.
Yeah, and you get the connections from it and stuff. That's one of the greatest things that I've found with it, where you get these, like, you end up, like, Mason's basically came out of having Jimmy on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really where we sort of, like,
You had him on the podcast first, and then you guys decided
and
you're
then
going to
we
open
were
a
just
restaurant?
like, hey, let's look at, a property and this and that, da-da-da. And if you listen to the episodes, like, of how those built, they're really great. It's just sort of reconnecting and talking about some stuff, and then we sort of had some teasers where we were like starting to look at it, look at the space, and put the whole thing together. It's really great. Fun stuff to look back at, and actually have a little record of it.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of stuff.
Well, you were saying the mocktails earlier, right? Like you had.
Yeah, that was I got to re-listen to that. I never listened. Do you listen to your episodes?
Occasionally, I used to. At the beginning, I would listen to. If I have time, I'll put it on. But just to see how it sounds, or to see if there's like a clip we want to pull out. But at this point, I'm comfortable with it, and
I was probably like.
It's hard to listen to yourself talk, right?
I was like one season in, and I don't think I listened to it, and I was convinced that I was never going to listen to one. And then I listened to them. I was like, oh my God, they're like so good.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm actually entertained.
Yeah.
And people like the fact that they just like never know what I'm going to say, That was like the greatest line in the Howard Stern movie.
Yeah.
You remember that movie?
Yeah.
And they said
ask the people that dislike him and the
yeah,
people
yeah.
that like
They
him.
said
It's the same thing.
they said they want to find out what he says next, and then they said the people that dislike him like the same thing.
Yeah.
Or something. That was like so good. I did not do justice to whatever that quote
Yeah, no,
was,
but it's basically the same thing. It was like the people like him.
Yeah, people love listening to it, and then people love like Aly and I's like banter back and forth.
No, it's great. I mean, I think that. I mean, I don't know about other people, and I've recommended it to a whole bunch of people because when you told me you had a podcast, when I saw you at the Boss Bash, I thought you were just busting my balls because you knew I had a podcast.
No.
Oh, great.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, no, it would have been. I'm like, oh, he's just busting my balls. And then, Jen said that when I realized you really actually had a podcast, I kind of lit up and was, but I think it's, it's cool.
Some of the stuff that we laugh about too is like some of the stuff that people love, like Aly and I fight about. She was telling me one day something about, or she was drinking a Coke, or a Pepsi or something. I go, "What are you doing drinking a Pepsi?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "You're drinking like a full sugar soda, like you're dieting all the time. You're doing all this stuff." I was like, at least class it up with a DC, go with the Diet Coke. I was like, it's like nothing better. She's like, I don't drink that crap with that artificial sweetener in it and this and that. And I was like, what? I was like, this is just like, I drink like a Diet Coke like once a month, and it's like a dirty, like, pleasure like that, that I don't admit really, but I guess I admit to everybody. And she's like, I don't drink that aspartame crap and that artificial sugar and this and that. And then she shows me this packet of like this Crystal Light stuff or something. She's like, I put this in, blah, blah, blah. I was like, the first ingredient is aspartame.
Yeah.
Hey, what is wrong with you? She's like, well, I hope she listens to this.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think that's probably one of the things that people like, listening to like, you busting or,
Yeah, me being a dink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that there's a good back and forth that you guys have. And then, you talking on food is like, I think very interesting to hear. And having chefs on from other restaurants. I mean, do they get excited to come on and talk to you, or?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting because it's like some of the guys I know real well, some of the guys I know from what seems like a past life years ago, and then some guys I've had on that I just am getting to know, which is great. And there's usually some sort of connection there, of like.
It's not a big world, this restaurant industry on the South Shore, or is it?
Well, the biggest thing that I run into is these people that know me.
Yep.
And I have no idea who they are. You know what I mean? Like I obviously know of them, but and there's different things. Like I used to meet and kind of hang out with a lot of people, like, when I was younger and I was drinking and I was like in Boston and kind of running around, and, you kind of were in touch with whatever scene was kind of going on there, or maybe you went to dinners or something at some other chef's restaurant or something, this and that. So yeah, I mean, it's all networked, but now, I mean, I'm not, I'm not out and about kind of doing that stuff. I rarely get, like, how often do you go into the city for dinner? It's not that often. I don't do anything really lately. I just work and stuff. So you do get to meet people. But like I had Doug Rodriguez on. He was really he was really shy about it. Like he was very
he's
nervous
the
about
one
going on.
How do you say that one?
Well, he did Osteria Vivo down in Pembroke, which if you haven't been there, you have to go.
Yep, it's on my list, right?
Yeah, but that's like you got to bump that up. Like you got to go.
No, it's right around the corner from me. So
I know because I was down in that area. It was 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So he's doing that, and he's doing his variation kind of on Italian food. And that was his first restaurant. Now he has Saltmarsh Winery open in Scituate, which is really kind of a cool project. A little more casual fare. He's recreating sort of these like kind of New England dishes. He's doing like this he's doing like this chicken pot pie with like rotisserie chicken. It's very Doug style, very artsy, very beautiful. He's very, very focused on presentation. And I just saw that he just did, which I thought was a cool idea and was a little interesting to me. He's starting this week with his early bird sandwiches. I don't know if you saw it on social media, but it came across. So he's offering sandwiches like from 4 to 6 during the week. Okay. And so this concept is a little more casual and stuff. So I had Doug on. Doug worked for me briefly. We were trying to figure it out recently, but it was over 20 years ago. And we've remained in contact and friends for years and stuff. And, it's just cool to kind of have him in, have him talk about what he's doing. And one of the biggest things in the food world is I love these guys that, I can identify with. Maybe they worked for me or I worked with them, or maybe they worked for somebody that I knew or used to work. Like I love that connection. And then to see where they've gone and the way that they do things differently, like I'm pretty focused on like I kind of I do what I do in my own way, and I'm always trying to do new things. But like I was with a guy. I was with a guy the other night, and I was hanging out in his kitchen. They buy pasta from me. And this kid used to work for me, and like so many people, he worked for me like in a couple different spots over the years. And I was watching him cook and plate up food on the line. I was literally that guy just standing like, in the way. His people looking at me like, why is this guy in the way?
But he's probably like, that's Kevin Long. He gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, well, that's if you ask anybody, they'll say I do whatever I want. Anyway, and it was very fascinating to watch his plates come up because I could identify the roots of his cooking. Right? Like I could see kind of where he was coming from and stuff. But then, like one thing that I noticed with his food was he had a couple more layers than I would do. So I'm very, Tosca was a very, very busy restaurant that I worked at for so many years. Tosca was a very unforgiving place to work because it was always busy.
Yeah.
Tosca was just large enough where you had to streamline your kind of execution of things, or else you just fall behind, and it was a disaster. It's part of the size of production there. Like, every place has to fall into its, the way that they make things, done. And so Tosca was one of those places, like, the better your guys were on the line, the more ornate you could produce things. But it all still had to have a certain streamlined kind of execution to it. So watching this kid Jordan cook, and his food was identifiable to what I know, and really kind of warmed my heart because I could see a lot of the stuff that he learned from me in the roots of it. But then he had this like one or two extra touches, layers, sauces, garnishes, whatever it was, which I'm not great at.
Yeah.
And he was really, really conveying it, but they weren't silly.
Yeah.
They were parts that sort of played into it. Like he was doing this like chicken dish. It was just this nicely roasted kind of chicken, and this kind of puree thing that went down, and a couple other pieces, kind of components that went around to it, and then there's just like cider reduction or something that I was like, oh, that's like super needed and wanted in there, but it's nothing that I would ever do. It was just a little bit more thought involved in it. And it's just fascinating to see that. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like the same thing is like art, right? You have these people that have taught, and there's like a lineage. I'm always interested to see like this lineage of like who's an artist, who they learned from, and it's like you see like some similar. What they create is different, but you can see the roots, and you can see it go back to like, this is like a really cool idea of how to like paint something or how to like present something, and it's evident, who they learned from, because they, I don't know, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it fascinates me too, but I don't know anything about the art side of it. Like,
it's the same. I think of this a lot too, and like art is like really just like this passion or this love for doing stuff, and I think that that's one of the reasons why when I see like what you do, like creating food, I'm like in awe of it, because it's it's clear that like it's more than just a job, right? Like you give a shit about it.
Oh, yeah,
you want to make sure that it's like you want to give the person and I think that the same's true for what I do with frames. I mean, I'm dealing with artists, but I'm not creating the art. I'm just making it better, or I'm like helping present it, and I give a shit. I want to make sure I do a good job, and I want to make sure that the people I deal with are happy, and that's what keeps them coming back. And I know that the same's true for you with the restaurant.
I thought it was funny. I was down here today, right? So I grew up right around the corner from here, and I'm down here today. I went right next door to your post office, right?
Yeah.
Because I had to mail all my crazy eBay stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have like the most beautiful post office.
Yeah.
It's very, very roomy. I almost wanted to get like a box over there or something. It's like beautiful. Like I was like,
Nice
this is like
place.
this is better than my post office. This is like a deluxe post office. Then right across the street you got CVS. It was like free toaster day or something over there. There had to be 1,000 people in CVS. I couldn't believe it, and I'm like, what is going on down here? But this really is the time. The suburbs are hot right now. This is this like post-pandemic like hot neighborhood down here.
Yeah. Yes.
50 years of the Frame Center.
Yeah, Phil. I mean, the celebration kicks off next week, right? Yeah,
I know.
next Monday. It'll be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's, all this stuff is super interesting, and like I said, just a passion for, I think that's a big part of what art is. It's just like a true passion or love for these things.
So what are we gonna do? What's our first thing? Because I want to do. See, I'm looking it up here, so I want to do something up here, but
we're gonna figure it out.
Is this the only stairs? Is this one, or do you have a back stairs?
There's backstairs too.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'll give you the tour of the whole place after.
I think
we
I've
wrap
seen
this up.
it and stuff, but I'm just thinking if we do something here, and we do a food component.
Yeah.
I don't want to make your whole place smell like nachos or something. But we could probably cook downstairs.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. That would be cool. I definitely wanted, and I feel like there's a lot that we could, I feel like the two worlds are very similar, and I think that we should come up with something.
We did something at Empire with. We did something at Empire with some art foundation. I have no idea what it was, and I thought it was pretty interesting. We did. We had to run it for like a week or something.
Yep.
And it just didn't really sell, but it was like one of these things. So I did Jackson Pollock thing, right, where I did. Do you know the guy do you know the Italian guy that's a real popular chef right now? I can't think of his name, but he does all the splatters on the plate.
Okay.
Have you heard of you seen this dude?
No.
I feel like an ass. I should know what his name is. But anyways, he's really well known. So I did this like we had a painting of Jackson Pollock, and then we served fried pollock.
Yeah.
With all the sauces, like in a Jackson Pollock kind of way, with the pieces of fried pollock on top of it. It was a pretty literal interpretation of it. But I thought that was always kind of funny. But I wonder what we could do here to do one of your things. Like, what do you have in mind for, like, because I'm fascinated by art, but I don't know a lot about it.
I don't know. I have to start to keep thinking about some ideas, some ways to combine the two worlds. I feel like we're getting we might be holding up the producer.
Mm-hmm.
Are we at a time crunch?
We're getting there.
No, I think you might have to get to his
factor in
your day job.
No, we didn't factor in rear end collision.
Yes.
Go keep going. We're still good.
Okay. No, I don't. I don't know. I feel like there's ways to like present art. I don't know. I want to kick a couple ideas around to the art associations that I'm involved with too, because they always have food. They're always passing food in at things, but like there's got to be a way to like feature it and get people to understand, to see the stuff that's like the art that you're creating too.
Well, we got to do something at Mason's too, because that really shows great.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to sneak upstairs and see that.
That
space.
I did.
Now I have to come back. Yeah,
I know. I know. And then, so what desserts did you have? Tell me about your desserts. You told me you were in like sugar.
Yeah, I almost had there was one with the cotton candy thing on the top.
Yeah, the tree.
Yeah, and which was ridiculous. There was one that was like a cheesecake that was like a pumpkin. That was and then there was like another white thing that we had to like crack open. I think it was
the
like
pavlova.
Yeah.
That one's super popular too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pavlova is like a baked crispy meringue.
Yeah. Everything there was unbelievable. I was
Oh, you got the bougie steak too.
No, that was Jen. She had the bougie steak.
Did she love it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
That's the biggest thing. That's a big thing that we compete with is like people are scared of our prices.
Yeah.
I was going to buy a dinner, but I wanted you to see the bill, the price.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. But that steak was definitely going to skew you guys because that was but did she love it? What temp did she get it?
What's that?
Did she get it like mid-rare?
Medium rare, yeah. I think so. Mid-rare. Is that the proper way to say it?
That's how everybody likes it, yeah.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. And then the sauces, everything was there.
Yeah, there's incredible marbleization. That was the A5 Wagyu tenderloin. That's essentially like that is pretty unbelievable grade of meat.
Yeah.
There is higher, fattier grades and stuff, but you could never eat a portion like that. Mm-hmm. If you ate like the Kobe stuff, the stuff that's even fattier than that,
you couldn't eat that much meat.
You'd be in a coma, yeah.
Yeah, it was I reached across to her plate. I'm big about sharing.
You're sharing.
Especially if I'm taking it off of her plate.
What did you get?
I just got the grass-fed ribeye.
The grass-fed is like one of our most popular meats right now.
The crab fried rice.
Everybody loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole. Is there like an Asian?
No, we've been pretty reluctant to go down Asian stuff, but we wanted to do that just because we love this like crab that we're using. This is it's a blue crab, and it kind of lends to that, and we give a huge kind of portion to it. It's really meant to be like kind of shared. We have a lot of like kind of larger tables and stuff, so.
I think I just went with some standard carpaccio, something else. And
you had the raviolis.
Yeah, the raviolis I wanted to try. I mean, I figured that they were from the pasta company. So
no, those we make in house, but that's another version of the Wagyu beef that we use there. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, but yeah. No, I highly recommend the spot, and I definitely want to get in there and do it. Do something. We're gonna have to kick around some ideas and flush them out with another podcast episode.
Or maybe it's a holiday theme thing.
Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be a way. I mean, I don't know if it's dealing with artists. I have this friend of mine. She's been on the podcast. And she used to do like performance, like where she would be painting while people were like, were there. I don't know if something like that is the way to do it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's selling tickets and trying to figure out a way to make sure you guys make some money, make sure like do it with an art association so that it's a fundraising type of thing. Get some people in the doors. I don't know. Build up the celebrity podcast host chef. Yeah.
So funny. Try to build it up so I can land my big whale of a guest.
Yeah. Well, I excited you came by. I hope you'll come back at some point because I feel like I could talk to you about all this stuff that
No, I'm interested in it. I love it. So, and then I'm going to have you in when we do our next on location too. I'm going to have you like repeat performance.
Anytime. I'll free up my schedule in a heartbeat to show up at a restaurant.
You and Jen have to go and have hot pot.
Yeah,
it's
now that I'm an expert.
Now that you've got you've learned the ways.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. I think you literally should, and we can talk about this later too, but like you should be doing those like episodes at the restaurant, covering like your concept for like what using that Mason's Dessert podcast was for is, I think it's like 100% on.
Yeah, it's just the on location ones are harder to edit. So.
Yeah.
Harder to get the audio right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Kevin. I recommend everyone check out I'll Cry If I Want To podcast. It's one of my my regular ones now. And check out Mason's Steakhouse up in Quincy.
All right, brother. Thank you.